Hey everybody, this is Ryan, and welcome to another episode of Runner 2. So this is the series where you guys leave your questions down below in the comments, and then I might answer them, and then you guys get to watch me play the very difficult game as it continues to get harder and harder. And I think this is kind of about where I turned the quality down. So I'm actually not sure how it's going to look yet. Hopefully it doesn't look too bad, but I really had no choice because as you will see, this game gets really difficult, and my game was chugging a little bit, and I had to turn it down. I didn't have a choice. I had to turn the quality down because it got to be unplayable. So hopefully it's not too bad. And yeah, so anyway, moving on. So today we actually have multiple questions. I'm gonna kind of do like a rapid fire question round, kind of, sort of. I'm gonna try to limit my answers to about a minute or less. There's actually one that's gonna go over a minute, but that's just the way it is. So yeah, so I'm already breaking my own rules. But you know what? Who's gonna come get me? The internet police? Ha! I mock you and your internet police. So anyway, first question is, how do I choose a mod to do a series on in Terraria? And first of all, I like to do smaller mods. I like to help the smaller guys get attention. I trust me, I know how hard it is to get attention when you create something, and even if you're really proud of it and it's awesome, it's still hard to get it. So I'm kind of in a fortunate position that some people watch my videos. I mean, I think it's a lot, but in the big picture, it's not a lot. Whatever, I don't want to get into that. So yeah, I like to help the smaller mods out where I can. And on top of that, I really like it if the creator is actively involved. If he's still improving the mod and adding stuff, and even if he's not still adding stuff, if he answers people's questions down in the comments, like on the forum page or whatever, that's a huge plus. Next question is, what games do I play when I'm not recording stuff? And Skyrim is a huge one. That is one that I always fall back on. I play with mods. It adds a lot of stuff. Obviously, I mean, you guys know that I like mods. Mods add so much stuff to games. So Skyrim is a huge one. There's just endless things to do in that. I've been playing SimCity 5, even though it had the horrible start that it had, but it's still a fun game. And if you are playing SimCity 5, let me know your origin name, and I will invite you to the region that I've created for the channel. MLB The Show is one that I have been playing a lot lately. I always buy MLB The Show and the NCAA football game every year. I really like sports games a lot, so those are two that I play. I recently had a new itch to play Fallout 3, so I've been playing that. Borderlands 2 is a big one that I've been playing on and off, especially when the new DLC comes out. I will be playing that again, and I believe my minute is up. Next question is, who was my first crush? Her name was Sarah. I was in junior high, so I would have been like 13-ish at the time. I don't know. I eventually worked up the courage to leave a note in her locker asking her out, and it paid off. I've always been really good at writing things and sounding much better than I ever could if I was just like speaking like at the time and trying to make stuff off the top of my head. I've always been really good at writing stuff down compared to that. And so yeah, I wrote her a note, left it in her locker, and it worked out, and we dated. And I use that term very loosely because, well, I was in junior high and it's not like we knew what we were doing. And so not surprisingly, it did not work out in the long run. But she's married now, as am I, so I guess you can say everything worked out in the end. Next question is, what do I do for a living? So like to actually make money, because I don't make enough money to have YouTube be a living, that's for sure. I wish it was. God, I wish it was. I mean, if YouTube was my job, I would be making 2 to 3 videos 7 days a week, but it's not. Really all I'll say is I do marketing. I completely like to keep work and videos separate. Like people that I work with, they don't even know that I make videos. I've never told them. Like, my friends know, my family knows. But yeah, it's just, I keep it completely separate. Videos have always been a great thing for me to just completely forget about everything else I got going on and just kind of completely like dive into this and focus on nothing but videos and comments and all that stuff. So I always have liked to kept that completely separate from each other. Next question, and this one is definitely going to take longer than a minute, but it needed answering, but I didn't want to, I don't even know how to explain it. I'll just get into it. All right, so the sequester. So this is actually a really big, like, important question. The sequester and stopping military funding for tuition assistance. And so this is going to take way longer than a minute. For those that don't know, the American government, in an attempt to balance the budget, made this thing where all these huge spending cuts would take place if they couldn't reach a deal on how to balance the budget. And the idea was that these cuts would be so incredibly harsh that it would force them to make a deal. Well, big surprise, it didn't work. A lot of things got cut, like people who have government jobs, they're forced to work 4-day work weeks now, which, you know, sounds great. It's like, hey, long weekend, 3-day weekend all the time, woo, party time. Well, that also means they're getting paid 20% less, and that's huge. I mean, 20% less money on your paycheck. That's devastating. And then, of course, you have the tuition thing. One of the big incentives to get young people to join the military is that the government will then help you with tuition. They will pay, I don't know the exact percentage, but I know it's pretty substantial. And that's how a lot of people go to college, is through the tuition assistance. And so they're not doing that anymore, and because college is incredibly expensive here in the United States. And if you're wondering how I did it, I took out loans, and I still owe tons of money back to these people. I owe thousands and thousands of dollars. So the reason I'm not doing a whole episode on this is because it's an incredibly simple solution that will never happen. And that is that both sides need to realize that Republicans represent 50% of this country and Democrats represent 50% of the country. And I mean, it's not a perfect split, but it's pretty close to a perfect split. And these sides have absolutely no desire to come to a true compromise. They want a deal that heavily favors their side and not something down the middle. So instead of each side making a big concessions to actually get something done, they both just stand there with their arms crossed and get nothing done. They're like fucking little kids, and they're just being stubborn, not getting anything done. So usually the ignorance of the government doesn't really affect that many people. It kind of affects some things, but you know, it kind of works out. Well, this is different. I mean, tons of people are getting affected by this, and it's really sad, and it pisses me off, pisses a lot of other people off. But here's the thing, and that is that they are never going to reach a truly even deal. Both sides are going to do this until one side gets enough people in Congress that they can force a vote and get what they want and just completely crap on the other 50% of the country. And so in the end, they don't do what is best for the country. They just do what is best for them and their 50%. And that's the only thing they care about at the end. They only care about their 50%, and the rest of the 50% of the country can go fuck itself in their minds. So that was a fun topic. I guess that's the fun topic that we'll end it on. So if you have anything you might want to hear me talk about, just leave it down below in the comments. Even if it's you know, a quickie answer like this, I'll probably do a couple more quickie episodes with rapid fire questions. But at the same time, you know, I'm always open to doing a much longer, like thought out answers to questions that need a full 7 or 8 minutes. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody, and until next time, see ya, guys.